to everyone. Hello, Dr. Mack.
Hello,
Hello.
Pastor Shirley. How are you this
I,
afternoon?
I am wonderfully well, and you?
I am blessed today and not complaining
Yes,
much.
ma'am. Like they say, blessed and highly favored. That's all of
Yeah.
us. I am so thankful that we are here together again today. And for those who are watching us, we are so happy that you're with us. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Mother's Board Inc., where we talk about sports, current events, whatever's going on today that our ears have heard and our eyes have read and observed over the networks and the what is the World Wide Web and however we get our information. And we are here to discuss it and to, in the midst of all of it, it's a way of encouragement and a way of keeping all of us abreast of the things that are going on, just in case someone doesn't know about it, and giving our point of view on it, and then leaving it open so that you can have your own point of view. And we want everything to stay in factual and informative for everyone. Dr. Mack?
Well, Father, we ask you today to grant us wisdom and to keep us from disliking or hating or even judging, just starting with judging others. But Lord, we ask that you bless those who are involved in the physical wars and those who are involved in the emotional wars and those who are involved in conflict deep within and they can put no name to it. We don't single out leaders and say, bless the leaders. We are saying, bless us all so that we may do what is right in your sight. These
Yes.
are the many blessings we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Such a wonderful, wonderful prayer, Dr. Mack. And we're just thankful to be, like I said, be able to sit together, even though you're in your place and I'm in mine, we're together. I mean, this technology is absolutely amazing. And it is so good for all of us if we use it in a positive way. And,
Yes.
and we definitely are, and we appreciate it too. And so we will go to our our discussion here today. We have some great discussion topics here today, and so I want to make sure I have the right one. Let me get this. I have my notebook up here, but I want to make sure that I have everything right because there's so much going on. My goodness. Is
Same old though.
Mhm. Yeah, same old same. What is that? Same old soup warmed over with a little added to it, a little more spice or something
And
added to
definitely
it.
a little more spice.
hmm So here we go. Um, I will start here. Why do you believe that the commander in chief made statements about the following? A, the quality of workers in the U.S. and the issuance of HB1 visas.
hmm
Is it HBI or H?
No,
Okay,
HB1, you were right.
HB1 visas.
Mhm.
Okay, and the continued desire to bring over 60,000 Chinese students who would attend colleges and universities in the U.S. and C, the allegations that Colombia is not involved in narco terrorism. Okay, Dr. Mack.
Okay. Well, Pastor Shirley, I just thought of put all those things under this weekend review.
hmm
Let's start with the H-1B visas. The president had lunch today with the CEOs of major companies. The H-1 uh, B, B visa is what's needed for those workers from abroad to come over and work for the companies, and most of them are for the big tech companies. Now he's
hmm
put a $100,000 fee, and he says one thing, but his first person says another. You know, he says that's what it should be. And she's saying that it's just a little bit. But what it really is, besides the next question, is you bring these people over, and you're bringing them over and you're paying them a lot of money. He
Mhm.
justifies it by saying, like the Hyundai plant in Georgia, where the 500 Koreans were found working there, and his border secretary deported them. He's still trying to fix that up. Uh,
Mm, mm, mm,
he's saying that they were here to train the American workers and that they would leave, and that their visas were for a limited time only for
mhm,
training purposes. No, that plant's owned, it's Hyundai. So it's owned by the Koreans,
mhm,
and they sent their workers here. We have to wonder when we hear these news releases that this country is going to invest X number of dollars in the U.S. and build a plant and all that. How much is that going to be for the Americans, the persons who are actually still going to be paying taxes on that? So
mhm,
they're still upset, and the Koreans are. May say they want to come back even if they were asked, but they're going to have to come back under a different um, guise. See,
right.
when we signed this immigration policy, when it was signed, it wasn't explained, clearly, and now he wants loopholes so that what he wants done can still be done. You know,
Mhm,
even though
mhm,
he's deporting a large number of one group, he wants to import a large number of another group,
mhm,
which leads us to part C. That he is still on this thing about bringing these Chinese students in to study at the universities. And the first thing he said, and it just irritates me now, they're going to
mhm,
bring in a lot of money. Their country pays, their nation will pay a lot of money for them to study. But there are those who supported him at first, like Marjorie Taylor Greene,
mhm,
who points out, wait a minute, what happened to America first? You want to bring all these students in here, which will displace the American students who would normally be in those seats. You
mhm,
know, DEI was such a bad idea. We had to just rush it through and force it right away.
mhm,
So, you're saying one thing, or you have said one thing, and you're actually doing another. You know,
mhm,
this week in review, you're still trying to explain these things that you said that really are not transparent. You know,
mhm,
I knew the immigration policy was flawed. I knew that. I think we all did. Because now that you got it going and now we see how you want to work it, it's not fair. It's not fair. It wasn't designed to be fair. But we see where you are. It
mhm,
was a Fox News reporter that he was trying to justify the H-1B visas to,
mhm,
bringing them in, first of all, charging them a fee, which their companies are paying. They're not paying it. You know,
mhm,
that's Amazon and Microsoft. And
mhm,
these are I have always been a proponent. Train the persons to do the jobs and they will. But don't train them and let them take the jobs and bring others over. Your American citizens are still not working.
mhm,
What's the benefit other than for the company to make money?
mhm.
Yeah, I just believe that. How can you improve the situation of the workers with what you're trying to do? You're bringing in a lot of people to do the work. You're not bringing in one or two, three, even 100 instructors.
Mhm,
You're bringing in workers on the floor.
mhm.
We're not silly people. We can see that. We know that. So,
Yeah.
and passionate, passionate, passionate.
And that was his idea anyway about talking about people taking jobs from Americans.
Yep. You
It's,
see how convoluted it is? That is so twisted.
he was so against it. I think somebody might have put something on the porch. Go right ahead, Dr. Mack.
Oh no, I finished this your response time.
Oh, okay. And so yeah, so he's doing what he was against. And so, people get confused when they have too many irons in the fire.
You think that's it?
Oh, of course.
You don't think
Yes.
it's those multi-million-dollar donors that he's trying to please
Well,
through
that
you.
also, so, trying to play both sides of the fence, but then really
Yeah.
forgetting, because if you talk about it, then it'll end up sounding like a big old bag of confusion.
Yeah, the
But
temptation balls of confusion. Was it the temps?
uh
Round and around.
ball of confusion.
Yeah.
I tell you, I'm going to step away, Dr. Mack. I'm going to give the other here. So let me get there. Uh, Let me get back to our pad here. Okay. Now, well, let me get to the right one. Oh, talking about the quality of workers in the
Oh,
U.S. and
yeah.
the issue of the visas. Okay.
That Fox, it was a Fox reporter. And basically she was saying, are you saying that we have a poor quality of workers in the U.S.? You know what? He got so
Just
frustrated. He said,
continue, Dr. Mack. I'll be right back.
yes, he did say yes regarding the quality of workers. Now, if your leader doesn't believe in the fact that you have the ability to do, then that makes it a uphill climb for the worker. You know, I why do we always think that things that come from abroad are better than the things that we grow here? We even call it homegrown situation. Um, but we have to start believing in the workers that we have. We must believe in the workers that we have. And if training is required, let's do it, but let's not replace the workers. Because when we look deep down into what you're saying, we see replacement. We don't see training. Not at all. Not at all. We see the need for uh, not instant gratification, but gratification that would come out a lot slower if the person had to be trained and had an opportunity to learn. Now, your companies want quick turnaround. They want quick money back for their investments. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the way it has been.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're going to be doing something new, and there's nothing really new under the sun, but
Mm-hmm.
if we're going to be doing something new, let's try and at least include the American worker in it.
Mm-hmm. Well, as we can see, the way things are going now, seems like we're the last on the totem pole when it comes to consideration and empathy, sympathy, and care. So, like you were saying earlier, uh, the donors, the money, well, they
Yeah.
say money talks.
Yes, yes. And
Mm-hmm.
we're actually seeing that. And you know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how you put it, that's basically what's happening. And you're meeting with these donors very frequently, not the same ones all the time. But I believe
Mm-hmm.
this week was another meeting with the tech giants uh,
Okay.
out there. It's have to keep meeting with, reassure them that you remember, what you said you were going to do, and
Mm-hmm.
listen to how they think it should be done. I
Mm-hmm.
don't see a lot of him in any of that.
Well, that's right, because that's why he has them as his consultants. And what will make you happy? What do you want for the future? And all of that. So, yeah, it's all happening, but it won't. All of that won't come into fruition. Um, there's a time where there is a point where things have to turn around, and we're close to that. Close to that. So, did you do the continued desire to bring over 60,000 Chinese students?
Yes, I was just thinking about what some of of his supporters, big time supporters, like Marjorie Taylor Greene and some of the lobbyists and influencers that he have. That's not America first. They're
Mm-hmm.
beginning to call him out. that's not America first. That's
Mm-hmm.
not what your campaign. But I think it's too late. You've empowered him and empowered him to
Mm-hmm.
do so many things that were not right.
Mm-hmm.
That once you give that person power, they just have to run on until they fall. Because you told them how great they were and how wonderful this idea was, when in reality it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can see the result of what he said, the difference between what he said and what he's doing, actually.
Mm-hmm. Right, because he was taking visas from them, right?
Yeah, well,
And
Marco Rubio, he told, that was what he told Rubio as Secretary of State and to do that. And he
mm-hmm.
did it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it's almost like someone comes along and sells you a better insurance policy.
Mm-hmm.
So you drop the one you had and go with this one.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, the one you had was better than it. But yeah, he was told to do that, and he did it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of those university students, they had to go. They were forced to return to their homeland. But
Mm-hmm.
here we are talking again,
Yes.
bringing some more, bringing some more in.
And then
Unreal.
the thing is that it's, even though people have said over and over, these students come here, they get their education, and many of them stay here, and they are
That's
good
right.
for the country. But that was not being heard. It was not um, being, recognized. I say, but now, since it's my own thought, it's good.
But I want to remember Takima Maisha,
Mhm.
who's in a part of town that, they don't always do the development.
Mhm.
And I want to remember, Maria Gonzalez Lopez Sanchez, whatever.
Mhm.
This, what are you doing for them? What are you leaving for them?
Mm.
How are they going to get better if they're going to stay in the same situation? It's like a drug addict who does daytime drug treatment and goes right back home in the neighborhood where he got the drugs the
Yeah,
first time.
that's sad. It's sad because you can't afford to get out of the neighborhood. Yep.
Right. It's not designed for him to get out.
Right. Right.
Right. Right.
Everything is built around class and who they want to keep in a certain place. You stay
It's
in
true.
this place. You belong here. We want you here. We want you here. You here. We don't want you moving out of that. So we're going to keep it and keep the economy geared towards keeping you where we want you to be. And like I said, they're like like the prison system. They're building prison systems
Yes.
based on our young children, especially our young men, and forecasting in their minds and on their papers, their plans that there'll be so many that will grow up and then they will end up in our system. And
Absolutely.
it's
It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
yes, ma'am.
You built it. You told me how bad I was.
Mm-hmm.
You told me I'd never be anything. You told me I'd be in prison by the time I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? I have absolutely no reason to prove you wrong. It's easier for me to prove you right.
Mm-hmm. Even though they don't literally, majority don't literally think like that, but it seems to work out like that. It's the design thing, yeah, and predictions and from the story of the United States and from who is in power, and they make the situations uh, difficult and they form them so that things will turn out like they want them to in order to get that free labor and make all that money off of all these different people.
Absolutely.
It's so sad. So the allegations that that Colombia is not involved in narco terrorism.
Well, there was another incident, and we know he has an armada down there now. He's got the biggest, naval vessel that we have there,
Hmm.
patrolling out the waters. But the president of Colombia is saying, you know, these are just fishing people, fishing, where you're getting your information from. And that president is not, the U.S. is saying that maybe you are just like the president of Venezuela. And he's saying no. But my question to you, Pastor, is do you think this is a contrived situation that will give a current administration inroads into, looks like it's South America and Central America,
Hmm.
to try and do what we want to do?
It's
Because when you blow all the boats up and nobody is left alive, how do we know they're narco terrorists?
it's all a plan for supremacy and taking over and getting resources from these countries without having to compensate the countries for their resources. And it's all about I, me, myself. I want what you have, and so I'm going to take the avenues that best suit me to make the conditions favorable to me so that I can get from you what I want without you being able to resist me.
Mhm. Sad, but true.
Hmm.
Sad, but
It's
true.
true. Yes. And so, but it's not all going to work out. People don't understand. They, but it'll come. It'll awaken, and that's why we pray for everybody involved, even the ones who are inflicting all this unnecessary hurt and harm on other people, because that stuff comes back. And then many times it comes back on people who are not directly involved in it. And so that means that if there's retaliation, then many of our people here in America will be in the line of fire in
Yes,
whatever way it comes back, literally, or what is it?
figuratively.
Uh-huh. Yes, ma'am. So, it's something else, but it's worth talking about, and I am glad for these discussions because some people, we're so busy trying to survive. To some people's minds are so uh, let's see, full of trying to survive and make just one day a good day till they don't think about these things that are making all the difficult uh, things happen. And all of this is involved in all of the negativity that's going on here now. All of this has a part in it because we're taking resources that we could use here and using money that could be used over here to finance wars and unnecessary attacks on innocent people. All of that's happening now, and it's taking away, what is it, the food from your own table?
Well, my granny was saying you're taking the food out of the mouth of your own
Children,
children.
exactly.
They're taking that food.
And that's it.
But then,
Mm-hmm.
and then see what happened when he was told he had to give the SNAP benefits in total.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm gonna appeal higher, and if I do it, I want to do it in partial. I don't want to give the whole amount.
That's
First, you say you don't have that kind of money. You said you had it, but you didn't want to do it. I don't, that kind of reasoning. We're being literal now. I'm
yes,
talking SNAP benefits.
yes.
You're supposed to have it,
It's
even if
there.
you didn't.
It's
It
there.
is, but they're doing these line item transfers all over the place to what you want done, and
Mm-hmm.
that you don't consider essential. You don't want to do.
Right.
And technically, you just appeal, 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 so you don't do it.
Right. And that's an expert at that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, expert at that. All right. So, who do you believe is the administration's version of a universal health care plan for the citizens of the U.S. if a plan exists? I don't even know.
And I put the question because I hope you did, because I don't know. Because
There,
I've never heard him. really explain what that would look like for him.
Right. And
All I've ever heard is down, let's try and destroy the one that exists now. They're put
and
a
right.
full Torah.
And we know just because I don't like that person because that person was so well liked and I want to just destroy anything that person did, anything and everything they did, I call it bad and I want to get rid of it just because. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing.
I agree.
And and so when your mind is scattered all over the place, you're trying to control this country, you're trying to take down a corrupt president when the pot can't call the kettle black, but I guess it can. And then you're doing all kinds of things trying to rule the world, trying to rule the world, and your brain is in so many areas you cannot concentrate and fully think about. And how can you plan a healthcare plan when your mind is all scattered trying to do this, that, and the other, a million things at one time? It cannot be done.
And I think you have an idea, but you know it's going to be an unpopular idea. And you're going to hold it until the last moment. And once you think you have everyone backed into a corner, you'll bring it out and make it policy.
Mhm.
Yeah. But you're not saying what it is.
Right, because it's just going to be the Obamacare reworded and start instead of starting from the top to the bottom, it's going to start from the bottom and go to the top, and it's going to be reworded just like the speech Michelle Obama made that was copied by a certain person when they gave a speech.
Well, I just know, I know you if you've been around socialized medicine or any other type of medicine, um, it's different. Like, I know this is not perfect, but it's better than those. So
Hmm.
whatever if you replace it, whatever you replace it with should be better, not just replace to be replacing.
Hmm. But when people have a mind of, I'm number one, I'm going to survive no matter who else doesn't survive. So when you have that mind like
Wow.
that, it's not that important to you, even though you may say it is, of the welfare of other people. So what I think I should give you would be fine with me, whether it helps you or not.
Just the act of giving, or the act that it looks like I am giving.
That
It's the
looks like I am, but
right,
I'm really not.
and that's truly happening now.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
know, if it were real, people would be applauding. But how can you applaud when you demand that the traffic control people come back to work and threaten them if they don't? Come on,
Yeah.
you know. I just have always believed that bullying will go just so far, but it's still an uncomfortable situation.
Yes, and then you have to consider when you uh, haven't been in those people's positions, some might not have had the gas
Yeah.
money. Sometimes people don't have public transportation money.
Well, look at it. Most of your airports are out of town. They're not.
Yes,
They're not in town. Once
right.
if you run out of gas past the last gas station,
Yes.
you're just out of gas because
So there, yeah,
there are no others. And I understand why, because they're not really a safety factor. You wouldn't want them there.
right. And then I might need gas to go to work, but what if my family needs food? And so that $15, $20 that I put in the tank could go toward some food for my family.
That's true. And the truth
There's
is, we don't live like Leave It to Beaver or Ozzie and Harriet or Donna, whatever, back in the day. That's not, we live paycheck to paycheck. Most people
many,
do.
right,
Yeah.
right.
And we can't even take on an emergency, but we do. because I'm one
Yes.
of those divine intervention, providence givers. I believe in that. But there are those who, you know, don't necessarily believe, but they are also blessed by it.
Right.
The master steps in when he needs to step in.
Oh, yes.
But you are so right about not having the means to get there and being
Right.
discouraged enough. You know, you're caught up in the middle of something you had nothing to do with. You have had shortage of trained personnel. There should
Mm-hmm.
be some plan now to take those persons from the military and put them in. The military is air traffic controllers, all
Mm-hmm.
branches thereof. Why isn't there some incentive to get them to come to work upon their discharge in the civilian airports? You know, I don't know. There are just other things we need to. Don't be so quick to accuse the person of not wanting to work.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bribery. I'll give you this $10,000 if you come. But like you said, it may be not convenient for them to get there.
Mm-hmm. And then what's going on in your mind about the situation might not be what's really happening, but you don't understand because you haven't been in that place before.
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. You,
Mm-hmm.
you can't understand the guilt that one of those controllers would um, feel if they caused the death of hundreds of people because they were tired, or if they were sleepy, or if they are
Mm-hmm.
concentrating on something else.
Mm-hmm. And then
Walking around in my shoes is what it is.
right. And the promise of 70% of your salary now, and then talking about rewarding $10,000. Give me my full salary and then talk about the $10,000 later. So,
Well, yeah. Well, you talk to the guy who's holding my mortgage. You talk to the person you have the kids in public school. Not public, but private school. Talk to those persons in the bursar's office. About
mhm,
why there's no money to pay this month. This quarter tuition. You
it's a
know,
trickle down thing.
there you go. There
But
you
when
go.
a person's not affected, they have no inkling of the impact, the negative impact it has on those who are experiencing it. And that is the problem there. They don't know really. They can't. They might try to imagine, but there's no way they can really understand the hardship that is causing people.
I'm smiling and chuckling about his definition of groceries. He says
Hmm.
groceries like it's a foreign word in quotes or italics. You know why? He's never bought groceries. He talks about affordability. He's never really had to worry about affordability. He never really would have to worry about a place to stay. He has places all over the world to stay.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, you know. But Joe King down the street, that's a fictional name, you know,
Hmm.
he just wants to pay his mortgage and hold on to his brownstone. That's it.
Right. Or whatever he's in.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, well, I think about those who have homes on the lake, who have travel trailers and mobile homes on a particular lake.
Hmm.
That is that is as precious to them as his towers are to him. You know,
Right. But when you haven't walked, what is it? If when you haven't walked in my shoes, you cannot understand.
that's true.
You cannot understand, and so we just like I said, pray for it. That's what we do. Like we pray for everybody. We pray for understanding for those who don't understand, and for recovery for those who are affected. Because there's so many people when it didn't have to be like this. It didn't have to be like this, but it is like this, and so we will recover.
And we're going to pray for wisdom so that we don't go around just blaming everybody.
Right. And you can pray for wisdom, but somebody could have wisdom to come and knock and sit on their nose and they still wouldn't accept it.
No, because they're so full of the blame. He said. But I actually believe that some of his supporters, just normal people, I'm hoping that, they saw or they're able to see. You know, what
Mm-hmm.
happens if, you're in the military, you need those SNAP benefits to make out your grocery for the month. It wasn't just one group that
Mm-hmm.
was affected. It was a lot of people. And again, you didn't look far enough down the road to see that you would be getting some of those who voted
Yeah, and it is a shame that people who serve our country are struggling. They should never have to be struggling.
but they do because they don't really make that much money. I mean, you would think they do, but they don't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yep.
if you also when they started recruiting for ICE and you saw those ridiculous salaries, high
Mm-hmm.
salaries,
Yes.
and then you had to think about what they were really going to do, and that
Mm-hmm.
made it a high cost of money.
Oh yes. I'm at $40,000 per agent. Was that what it was?
45.
45. Yes. But hey, where's the money for the people that need the food and everything? There's so much money floating around in this country to nobody in this country has to, not even in this time. They can say what they want to about the shortage of money and all of this, but you're paying out billions of dollars to other countries, other continents. You're building a great big old ballroom that costs millions, even probably billions of dollars, and saying that certain people are funding it. Why can't those certain people give that money to help the people in the United States if we're in such a what is a shortfall of
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I
So
know.
there, it's just the frame of mind, and like we say, it's people's mindset and
Yeah,
what they see, what they feel, what they think is has impact on how they act. And like we were saying, some people haven't had the experience. Like you were saying, even buying groceries,
right.
even know what it is to be without. All you do is wake up and go to the table, or somebody bring something
Brings it
to
to
you.
you.
Yes, and don't even have to start your own car. Don't have to drive yourself, don't have to do anything for yourself, and wake up every day looking for that same thing, and it's right there. When there are people hustling now, some people right now are going through the garbage cans trying to find something to eat. Somebody's hanging around at the back of a restaurant trying to get food that they throw out. All of that's happening right now, and it shouldn't be, but it will always be. It will always be. Even when the funding comes back full, it will always be like that. And so that's why I said we have to pray for everyone, and we want well, for everyone. Don't want any harm to come to anyone, but we don't want anyone to harm others either.
Right. Let's just say dumpster diving is not a fashionable trend. Dumpster diving is a necessity for those who do it.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's it. Yes, ma'am. And sometimes those people find that the vegetables and all that, but now these some of these charities are getting that food before they throw it out, so that they can maybe take the uh, dead leaves off the cabbage and the lettuce and all of that, and go through all of that food that these stores and restaurants have left over, and be able to give it to these what is it, shelters and places like that. But they can't get all of the food, they can't get all of that, but anyway,
And
there's
if there has been a bright spot, if there was a bright spot in the shutdown, it
hmm
was the fact that people came together. We understood finally the African proverb, it
hmm
takes a village.
yes,
And so it was taking a village, and I hope that stays true. You know,
yes,
people come together, not because
mhm,
it's a holiday, but because they are persons in need.
right. And these things, God allows these things to happen so that we can come together.
I hope we keep it up. I do.
Oh, we will, until the next one.
Okay.
Okay. Next, what do you? Okay. Oh, we had that, the health care. Let me go on down. Try to get on down here. I don't know. This thing seems like it's going. Oh, no wonder it's going back and forth. I'm hitting the up button. Okay. Okay. There it is. Next is, in what way can administration claim victory of reopening the government? And do you think that strategy will impact the next presidential election? Hmm.
I don't think there is any victory. I think that it's not over. You know,
No.
um, it's not over, and it will impact the next presidential election. Because
Yes.
people have long memories of things that were very unpleasant.
Yes.
They remember those things. People say, "Oh, you just remember the happy things." No, I think I'm not by myself. I can remember things that were not happy. In
Yes.
fact, I think they made a more profound effect upon me than the other things.
Yes. And especially because they didn't have to happen.
That's it.
Hmm.
That is the key right
Hmm.
there.
It didn't have to happen. But I'm going to do this because I can. And I'm going to let you see. So, anyway, but things are getting better, and these things won't be going on always. But every now and then, as we know, things go around and around and around. So, we'll have some decades before something like this happens again. So, in what ways? Oh, can they claim victory? Well, they claim victory already, but I couldn't say.
There's no victor. The people were hurting. How can there be victory?
Well, because I got just
What
about what I wanted. Hmm.
I'm not
And
sure.
then you didn't get what you wanted, so that to me is a victory.
Okay.
Hmm. Yes, ma'am. I believe that um, it's fair to say that the peace deals that this administration claims victory over is not holding what appears to be the problems in Gaza with the division of land. Oh, well, they just
Yes.
don't want to divide it.
Well, we got that 3,000 years plus. Um, and I was just taking a look at the zones, the safe zones, the community safe zones that are going to be
Mhm.
set up. What you don't have the other countries, like you said you were going to do when you were talking about how victorious you were. You don't
Mhm.
have these other countries. You don't have the countries surrounding Gaza. Uh, coming in to do any of that. You still have Netanyahu who wants to still fight and still accusing the Hamas of doing things, hadn't turned in all the guns. No, they haven't. They're not going to.
No.
And this yellow line um, was first just paper, now it's reality. But who's going to go in there? How are you going to verify that they are not insurgents? That and
Mhm.
what about the big military base that you want to build right on the sea there in Gaza? And where are you going to put the Palestinians? They belong there too. There's still too many questions. Too many questions there. You know, who's in control? Will Israel ever allow them to exist? Because they don't think they are supposed to. So I
It's
don't
so,
think you should have
so
been so
sad.
quick to declare victory. I don't. I think you should have waited.
Well, there is no victory
No.
whatsoever, and there was only a small part that was played in there anyway. It was blown to try to make the rest of the world think that I'm so important. I had a big part in this, and claimed victory in 7 wars, and neither one of them have ceased.
All of them are still going on
Oh
in
yeah,
force. In
yes,
force.
yes, ma'am.
What is it? I woke up this morning very early and I'm looking at a film where the city of Kiev, is being blasted by Russia. That
Hmm.
is nowhere close to peace talks. and
Yeah.
the target was civilians.
Hmm.
So
And Kiev and all those drones that they use to target those people, they use the drones to make sure that they got the target that they wanted.
absolutely,
Direct targets. Yes.
people are going to have to want to stop fighting themselves. You can't legislate that. You know,
No.
it has to be something in it for each side. And I
Right.
and I think if it's gone on a long time, like India and Pakistan, or the
Hmm.
Sudan in Africa,
Yes.
you these people gonna have to want it. You can't go over there and mandate it. You just can't.
You know. And even though they want it, they're going to have to compromise, and somebody is not compromising. So, until they
You're
come to
absolutely right.
a compromise, is going to continue like it's already been doing, like for decades.
Yeah, thousands of years over there
Yes,
in Israel. But
yes,
I'm just hoping, um, we don't get into a situation where we're pushed into a third world war, because this will not be a traditional war. This will be a nuclear war, and
but yeah, but
it's
then
not going to be one where you can control what happens.
and there are some people's minds seem to be set on having a war because
Yes,
war brings money to the richer people who have the resources that uh, fund wars, like and the products and the materials and all of that that keep wars going. And so if they're sitting in a warehouse somewhere not being used, okay, so we need to do something to use this stuff that we got sitting over here in this warehouse. So if you start a war, then we can sell this stuff and we can get richer and richer. People might think that that's being too, I guess, blatant and too direct, but that's what's going on.
that's the whole truth. Is what you're saying.
Yes.
What you're saying is the whole truth, and so many people would rather not see it. But you can just push people to the point where they'll start pushing back.
Yes.
So we need to be praying for peace. We need to be praying for things to get better all over. We did
And
have administrations where there was a coming together,
yes.
a unification, working sort of for the same thing. But
Right.
when you get one where the leadership is involved in enhancing themselves financially, because that's what that is,
Yes.
himself, his foundation, which is his family and his foundation. Those are the priorities. Now, when he leaves, if he ever leaves, we're going to be stuck with whatever is left, too.
Yeah. Well, he's leaving. That's a fact. He's leaving, and so if you well and done, take all your money and everything, and go on and live where you want to live, do what you want to do, so we can get on about our business.
I
But
love
things
that.
will never be the same. But it's all designed, and it's all going to work out for the good of the people. I guarantee.
I
We,
have to
you and I
believe
might be, you and I might be up there in that ballroom one day.
I I can't think of any reason I want to go.
Hey, still might be invited. You never know. See, people think
Yeah,
that they're doing it for one thing or one reason, and there's something totally different is in the plan, the divine plan.
yeah.
So we don't know what is going to take place up there in that room.
Well, I'm still thinking, what gave you the right to think you could tear it down?
Well, they did it. Please excuse me.
Uh huh.
And did it before anybody could even think about it.
He distracted us. Is what happened. We over here looking over there, and he over there having the
Yeah.
bulldozers come and
But
push it
whatever is going on in the minds of the people who don't have the people in mind, we're still praying for those people because God, everybody has a purpose in
down.
this life. And
Yes,
just I think about Judas Iscariot.
yes,
He betrayed Jesus, but he was the son of perdition and he was doomed to do that.
yes. It was predestined.
Yes, ma'am. he was doomed. And so just like that, and not saying that everything is bad, not saying that, but some people are predestined to do certain things. Many times they don't understand why they're doing them, but they have to carry it out because they're predestined to do it. And so those are things that are happening today. That's what's going on. They're predestined to do some things. And then, as a whole, this nation has never been a good nation of the good people in this nation, but this nation started out just like it is now, killing, taking over, taking land from people, annihilating different tribes and of people, taking over their land and all that. That's how this country was founded. And so you cannot continue to get away with all of that. And in the meantime, meanwhile, there are people suffering who are innocent of the whole situation, have innocent, but the innocent even have to pay sometimes for the sins of others. But get caught up in that. But then it all works out well for us in the end. We might feel pinch. Some people might feel that pinch, but in the end, it's all going to be good for everyone. I believe that everyone. And that's why, I just say, for those who are doing all of the things that are not favorable to the people, we pray for them as well, that they will be able to see what's going on. And one day they might make a complete turnaround. But if they don't, we know that they were predestined to do the things that they're doing. I believe that. You there, Dr. Mack?
I'm here. I'm just
Okay.
smiling because it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to believe. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, but
Yes, ma'am. All right.
we're gonna have to, people. I suppose more people will need to see what's actually happening.
Right, right, right. They'll see this turnaround. They'll see this turnaround. So on Sunday, Governor of Texas announced that he's running for reelection. And do you believe that he hopes to fill out the term if he's reelected? And or do you think that the governorship is just a holding pattern until he's offered a higher position? I would say could be, and I think most of the time they're looking for a higher position also. If I do well here in the eyes of the ones that are in power at this time, maybe I'll be offered something different, and then he might just still want to stay as governor.
Well, he's not meeting as much resistance as he was. He's going to set a record if he is reelected.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, okay, but I agree with you. I think if he's offered a position, he will take it, you know, because he has been a quote unquote true friend to those who are in power right now, you know.
Yes.
And but um, you're also right when you said that maybe he's comfortable where he is right
Mm-hmm.
now. You know, you feel you have he has the Senate and the House, going in his favor. So things are passing the way he wants them to pass, and those that don't pass, he vetoes them or he just lets them die. So
Right.
uh, it's interesting, and the
Yes.
fact that he's even running again is interesting.
Oh, yes, but when you get a taste, the majority of the people that get a taste of that power never want to give it up. They want
That is
more and
also
more
true.
and more.
That's true. That is very true because he's quite powerful. Believe it or not, this is
And
a large state.
mhm,
Uh, Economically, it's doing well. Heck,
yes,
we're opening our own stock exchange here. You know,
yes,
come on, that tells you that there's some
that's right.
finance going on around here.
And another one's coming on. We have two on the, yeah.
Yes,
Hmm. So
so
yes,
things are good. I, I don't know, but
yeah.
the announcement surprised me.
Yeah, and and then his power, he has that power that he has. So if he took a promotion and working under someone else, he's going to have to
Follow
adhere
them.
to,
Yeah.
yes, and so that's going to be a change. So I think he'll probably
I
just
don't
stay
know.
where
I
he
hadn't
is.
thought about it like that, but you're right. You're
Hmm.
right.
Yeah,
But
because he's
real,
very powerful here.
yes, he is. You
Hmm.
think when you really, like I was looking at the notes from the governor's office, he
Hmm.
did all these appointments, etc. This in 1 week. All these judges. See, that's
Hmm.
the kind of thing you really have to. Who's putting those persons in those positions who will be making those decisions?
Yes.
Years. He's
Hmm.
putting all these judges, he's putting all these committees, and he's
Hmm.
putting friends of the governor in those positions.
Oh
Those,
yes.
yes, I mean, wow. It
Hmm.
is going real faster.
Yeah.
Eyes
Oh
wide
yeah. Oh yes. So anyway, I'm we have 2 minutes, so I'm well two probably two and a half. So I was watching our mayor's state of the
open.
city
Address.
address. And he was talking about how crime has gone down, all facets uh, of crime have gone down, and then of course Dallas is the place for those. The bull market and all of that here in Dallas. And then he even mentioned the ones that we have, the big businesses that we have, like AT&T and everything. And he said Dallas is doing great, and Dallas is going to be better. And then he also talked about City Hall, and I believe that they're going to demolish City Hall because every time I go down there, I look up at that and I'm thinking that thing could fall over on somebody. I know that the architecture
Yeah,
and everything,
I
it's safe and
say
everything, but still, in the way they say that it's uh,
leaking.
and going on, that thing could just fall down. It's a nice plan. It's a nice, different structure, but I'm serious. Every time I go up there, I'm thinking, okay, if I'm on this side, what if that falls over? But I believe they're going to demolish. And I think they're going to go to a new place because the way he was talking, I think that's what they're going to do. He didn't say it, but he was not saying that they're not.
I was impressed by his state of the city message, and I like the way he started with financial news. I always do, but at the same time, let's not forget everybody here in Dallas. Um, you know, remember who you are working. I really want them to remember. You know, it's not a ban on vaping or where you can vape. We've been that way. You just said it, so we all heard it, and we know what to do, and we really
Mhm.
want it to get better for the people,
Right,
and we all want to be safe. We don't want
right. And he said we are safer. He said that we were even 7 years ago when he first came in. We're even safer now. And he gave the statistics: 11% down, 12% down, 40% less crime in certain places in the business districts, and I think it was like 20 something percent overall. So he was telling the statistics of the how crime has decreased and certain crimes, that have decreased. And he said we're doing well and we're going to do better. And I really liked his speech. So now it is 2 o'clock, Dr. Mack, and it has been a pleasure as usual to be here with you. And to everyone, we
to.
thank you so much for watching and participating here on the Mother's Board Inc. with us. And we love you so much. And God willing, Dr. Mack will be on. Dr. Mack?
Oh, please join me on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock for the webcast from the Biblical Files of Dr. Mack. We will be working with the women in the book of First Chronicles and the blacks in the book of First Chronicles. Tell someone else about us, and thank you, Pastor Shirley.
Yes, ma'am, Dr. Mack. And God willing, everyone, we'll see you tomorrow night at 7:39 p.m. and Sunday morning at 7 a.m. and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. and Mondays at 7 a.m. And of course, God willing, the Mother's Board will be back at 1 p.m. on next Friday. And Thanksgiving is approaching, and we are thankful every day. But we know that Thanksgiving is a day where we just put all of that and really hoard in that thankfulness. So love you, everybody.
Bye bye. Thank you.